Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another makeup tutorial. This one, of course, is a little bit out of the ordinary, a little bit non-conventional. This is an all pink makeup tutorial. So during the week I was scrolling through my Facebook and I am part of a BoxyCharm group. It's called Boxy Babes, I believe, and they're hosting a contest where the whole thing revolves around doing a monochromatic makeup look. And of course my favorite color is pink, and I chose to do an all pink makeup look. Now this is the final outcome. I definitely tried out some new things in this makeup video. I tried doing the whole freckle thing for the very first time. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope it doesn't look too awkward but I just wanted to try something new, something out of the ordinary. You guys know that I'm always trying to step out of my comfort zone a little bit. Every time that I go into Instagram and into Pinterest, I always scroll through so many colorful and beautiful and bold eye looks, and I'm always just like mesmerized. I think it's my love of art, and in doing art on a canvas that's kind of like transforming into makeup, and it's merging over on this side. So I just want to, I feel like I get that sense of I want to like express myself, that creative side, that artistic side through makeup. So I love doing that, and I always get throughout the week when I'm at work, I always get that like urge for it to be Saturday already so I can sit down and get ready to paint my face. Now I did get sick throughout the week, but I already went through it yesterday and the day before. I was already, most of the time I was in bed off of work, so now I am feeling much better and ready to sit down and do some makeup. So yeah, that's what I have for you guys in store in this video. I'm gonna walk you through the entire process and how to create this makeup look. This video is going to be once again a voiceover video, just walking you through the entire process and how I created this look. Makeup tutorials for me are usually just easier to do voiceovers because when I sit down to do makeup, I'm not really sure like the direction that I want to go to, so there's a lot of time in between steps of me just thinking about the next step, the next color that I want to use, and things like that. So if I were to do just a sit down and talk through makeup tutorial, I feel like it would be an hour long video. So voiceovers are just easier for me, at least for now that I'm getting used to doing them and teaching as well. So bear with me. I know not everyone is a fan of voiceover videos, but again, I'm still learning, so as I go on, I know I'm gonna get better at them. So yeah, if you want to see how I created this look, stick around. But before we get started, don't forget to hit that like button, and as always, subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. I'd love to have you as part of this little YouTube family that I'm trying to build right here through my channel, where we love all things beauty and makeup. And without further ado, if you want to see how to recreate this look, how I created it, then please stay on and keep on watching. Alright guys, so let's get right into it, and the very first step, as always, is going over our entire lid with some Shape Tape. And of course this just allows us to begin our eyeshadow look with a clean slate, even out the color of our eyelids, canceling anything in there, any veininess, and just giving us a clean slate to start our look. Once everything is nice and evened out, we're going to go in with our James Charles and Morphe palette, and I'm going to go in with this shade right here called Pinkity Drinkity, that matte baby pink, and I'm running that color all over my crease, and I'm even going up a little bit higher than my natural crease because this is going to be a cut crease. I really like using these colors way up there, that way when I cut it I am able to make my eyelids look a little bit bigger than what they actually are. And you're going to see in a little bit, but this is just going to give me some more eyelid space when I'm cutting that crease. So I'm just going back and forth, blending that out, and then I'm going to jump into another palette. This is the ABH Norvina palette, and I'm using the shade Love. I just literally grabbed all of the palettes that I have that have pink tones, and this one was actually a better tone than Pinkity Drinkity. It was a deeper color, it had a little bit more pigment, and it just showed up a little bit better for what I wanted in this eyeshadow look. So I'm doing the same thing, just running that color all over the crease or a little bit higher than that natural crease. Really make sure to take your time and blend out those edges as best as possible. Then I switched palettes once again to the NYX Ultimate Shadow Palette, and I tried going in with this shade right here and just deepening things out in that crease. As you can see, I switched to a smaller blending brush. That way it would allow me to go in deep into that crease. But then I was really not getting that bold fuchsia color that I wanted, so I went back with my Morphe X James Charles palette and I went in with the shade Skip. Now I kind of didn't want to use this shade because of the staining. I know it does stain the eyelids, but alas, it just gave me the bold pigment that I really wanted, because I really wanted this eyeshadow look to be bold, to be bright, and for it to pop. So this color really gave me that pop of color that I wanted. And as you can see with that small blending brush, I kind of packed the color all over the crease, and then with a clean, fluffier brush, I just went over those edges to make sure everything was nice and blended. Once I had that color laid out, I went in with an even deeper color to go all over the crease, and I went into my Modern Renaissance palette to the shade Love Letter. This shade is an absolutely beautiful, true pink. It's not a fuchsia, but it's just a beautiful like magenta color. And I went in with a literal pencil brush. I went in all over right in the very crease and really defined that shade in there. And the reason that I'm doing that is because when you go in to cut the crease, you really want a really sharp definition between the top of your crease close to that brow bone to your actual lid. You want there to be a nice contrast between those two colors, that way they don't mush together. And you're gonna see what I mean, of course, in a second once I cut that crease with my concealer. So I'm really making sure to pack that color right in the crease. As you can see, I'm kind of making like a line, and that's gonna be the outline where I'm gonna cut the crease in a little bit. Just going back and forth, and of course really making sure that those colors form a nice gradient with my crease. And I'm even gonna take that dark color and I'm packing it on my outer V. Once that color is set, then I'm gonna go in with my handy dandy tool, my viral cut crease, go in with some shape tape on top of my little tool right there. It just really makes the job super easy. It's come in super handy, and I think it's been such great practice for me to do cut creases. They've become easier for me since I've been using this tool. So as you can see, I stamped it on my crease and dragged it out a little bit. That way the concealer really stays on my eyes and not on the tool. And then with a small flat concealer brush, just go in with those edges and blend the concealer on the lid. And then go over those edges. If you need more concealer, you can go back to your shape tape and add more concealer to your brush to really define that edge where you want your cut crease to cut onto your lid. And really pat that concealer in. You want to make sure that it's nice and patted down on the lid and that it's not wet, because then that's going to affect the shadows that you put on top of it. Now that the crease is nice and cut, we're going to go back into that Love Letter shade from the Modern Renaissance palette, and using a packer brush, we're gonna go in and pack that color on the outer V. As you can see, this is a beautiful, extremely pigmented shade, and it's just a beautiful definition. And then we're gonna move on to the second lightest shade, which is that bold pink. As you can see, that color in that James Charles palette, it's super, super bold and bright and pigmented. And I'm gonna put that on the center of the lid and just pack it on as much as I can. But again, it was just effortless to get that bold pigment on the lids. And then once the color was set in there, you just go back and forth a little bit and wiggle that brush so that those edges between that shade and Love Letter are nice and smooth and really blended in. You can even use your fingers if you want to smooth out those edges as well. And these are two different brushes that I'm using. I'm using one of these packer brushes for that Love Letter shade, and I'm using a separate brush for the Skip shade. Then I went back in with the Norvina palette and I grabbed the shade Wild Child, which is this beautiful, almost like duochrome pink right there. Sprayed a small pencil brush with some MAC Fix Plus and used that on the inner portion of the lid. Now I do apologize, my camera of course wasn't in focus for this part of the tutorial. So sorry about that. And I forgot to check as well. Now that the upper portion of the lid is done, I'm gonna go in with some MAC Fix Plus just to really hydrate the skin before going in with foundation. And for foundation, I'm going in with the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow foundation. I am in the shade 204. And with a foundation brush, a small foundation brush, I'm going in just because I really want to make a sharp line on the outer edge of my eyeshadow look, just really cutting that out and making sure it's nice and sharp, kind of like a cat eye for that look. Once that is nice and set, I can go in with my sponge and really blend in our foundation as usual. And now we're going to work on our lower lash line, and I'm going back to the Norvina palette and into the shade Love and buffing that out all over the lower lash line. And then I went back to that packer brush that has the Skip shade from the Morphe x James Charles palette, and then I packed it on the lower lash line. As you can see, I'm first packing it on, then buffing those edges out to really make that color pop on the lower lash line. And then on the outer portion of that lower lash line, I'm just using the shade Love Letter from the Modern Renaissance palette and just adding a little bit of a deeper color to that outer edge. That way it connects to the top outer V of the eye. And then it was here that I realized that I should have done concealer first before working on my lower lash line. So I did concealer really quick, went back to my Shape Tape and concealed my under eye as usual and blended that in. A little bit on the forehead. And then once that was nice and blended, I went back in with that buffer brush and fixed my lower lash line. Just really made sure to go back to those colors because I wanted to blend that in with my concealer that was now in place. Now I'm gonna go in with this product from Maybelline, is the Color Tattoo. They're kind of like eye toppers, and it's a beautiful, beautiful product. It's a beautiful liquid eyeshadow. It's not necessarily like a liquid, it's more of a cream eyeshadow, but it's absolutely beautiful. And usually I would use this for the top center lid or something like that, but in this case I used it for the inner corners. I feel like I needed something super shiny, so I used this and it turned out really pretty. And then for lashes, I used my House of Lashes lashes in the style Boudoir. Plopped those on and then did some mascara on my lower and upper lashes using my IT Cosmetics Superhero Mascara. Now I bronzed up the face really quick using my NYX Highlight and Contour Pro palette, using the bottom shades, the first 3 bottom shades, with this big fluffy brush, and then usually I will go in with a smaller brush and use the deeper color in that palette. After this, I went ahead and just did my other eye off of camera. I did my eyebrows, I did my nose contour, and I'm just brushing off that excess powder from the sides of my nose. And then after that, I was gonna go in with my blush. Now for blush, I used 2 different ones. I went in with my usual blush, my Laura Geller Baked Blush-n-Brighten blush in the shade Tropic Hues. And then I also went in with my Milani Baked Blush in the shade Berry Amore number 3, and really went to town on the cheeks because I really wanted to make this a really out of the ordinary, a little bit more editorial, and just went in with that blush all over the sides of the cheeks and even on top of the nose. I've seen a lot of people do this recently, so I just went in, I went ham with that blush and used it all over the center of the face. Once that was done, I went into my ABH Moonchild palette with the shade Pink Heart. For a bold highlight, I sprayed my Morphe 510 brush with a little bit of Fix Plus and went in all over the cheeks as usual, on the sides of my temples and on top of that forehead, on top of that brow, for a beautiful pink iridescent highlight. And then it was time for me to attempt doing some freckles, and for that I used the Milani Cosmetics liquid lipstick in the shade Sweetheart. This is a metallic pink shade and it's absolutely beautiful. It's part of their Amore matte lip creams. It's a beautiful, beautiful shade, and I went in with a tiny brush and just literally did some spots all over the cheeks to create some freckles. And then for the lips, I chose another metallic, and this is the Too Faced Melted Metal Liquid Metallic Lipstick in the shade Melted Metallic Bunny. And this shade is usually a little bit more bold than this, than what you're seeing on camera, but because I've had it for a while, I believe the product has separated a little bit, so I needed to shake it up a little bit before using, but the shade is absolutely beautiful. And with the lips all done, this, you guys, was the final look. And that is it for this video, you guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Again, I know it's not your conventional, traditional, everyday look, natural, everyday look, but I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I really like stepping out of my comfort zone and just trying out new things. And that's why I tried going into this contest, because I wanted to try something new. I love the color pink, so I figured why not? And also I just needed to sit down and de-stress a little bit. And of course, makeup always allows me to do that. I really do love the way that this came out, and I hope you enjoy it too. Let me know in that comment section down below your thoughts in this look, and if you have any questions or any suggestions for future videos, I'd love to hear from you. Let me know also in that comments section down below. I always love reading your guys' comments, and that you guys are enjoying my kinds of videos and leaving me suggestions as well, so definitely use that as a way to let me know what you'd like to see from me in the future. And of course, as always, I just want to thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you so much for spending some of your time right here on my channel. Hope you're having a great one, and hopefully I will see you right here on my next video. Bye guys.